You on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
With Christmas landing midweek this year, there are plenty of you out there that might be traveling, maybe even tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. Let's get the latest on what travel conditions will be like, and Nathan is here at the top of our newscast with your No Wait weather planner. Nathan?
Yeah, Mike, the one thing we're watching in regard to impacts for either traveling or those late last-minute shoppers is some icy spots. We had some melting over the weekend, and temperatures across the board are in the low teens in areas like Grand Forks at 10 degrees to near 30 in Watertown and in Marshall. Detroit Lake's also sitting at 30 degrees, so we are, of course, below that freezing point where any of those puddles will have frozen over. So we'll just be on the lookout. Some of those side roads and sidewalks especially could see some of that, those icy spots. And then we're seeing right now just clouds, no precipitation falling from these clouds. So expecting no impact in regard to active precipitation. And the national scale shows only a few systems, one near Atlanta and one near Los Angeles into Arizona as well. So even if you're traveling across the country, things look good, and the delays at all the regional airports are minimal, Mike. So the good news is here in the days leading up to Christmas, we're quiet, but we are tracking a system after Christmas that we'll have more details on coming up in a couple minutes.
A gift on this side of it.
That's right.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
He said, I want you in the living room, and when I see those police lights, then you're dead.
A local woman is still dealing with the effects of being held at gunpoint inside her own home. The man awaiting sentencing in this case is her ex-husband of 20 years. She called our Whistleblower Hotline to share her story. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero has her warning for those who may be in a relationship with domestic violence.
Kim Bellegarde says she's been living in fear since a standoff at her Horace home.
It is very frightening to never know when I go home and I live in the country. Could he be there? Would I run into him somewhere?
In March of 2018, her ex-husband, Lance Bellegarde, stormed into her house armed with a shotgun.
Got us both a glass of water, and he had told me that he had killed both of my parents.
That was not true, but at the time she believed it. The couple had recently divorced, and as payback, deputies say he held a shotgun to her face.
He opened it and said, this bullet is for you, and the other one is for me.
Kim safely made it out, and the 4-hour standoff ended peacefully. Last week, after more than a year and a half since the incident occurred, Bellegarde pleaded guilty to 3 charges in Cass County District Court, avoiding a lengthy criminal trial. His sentencing is set for May. Kim was hoping for a sooner date.
And there has not been a speedy trial or sentencing. It has been postponed at the least 5 times. It's suffering for myself, looking over my shoulder, my sons.
Cass County District Court tells us trial dates are scheduled based on the judge's availability. The Rape and Abuse Crisis Center provides free resources, and last year saw nearly 3,000 people, more than half for domestic violence.
You think I'd rather be with someone than be alone, but if you can think there is someone out there for you, and if there isn't, you're going to be fine.
It was a decision she says she's glad she did for herself and her children. In Horace, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
We did reach out to the lawyer representing Lance Bellegarde as well as the Cass County State's Attorney's Office for comments, and we haven't heard back. If you have a story to tell about your fraud, corruption, or injustice in your community, here's some advice. Call our Whistleblower Hotline. We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. The phone number's on your screen right now, 701-237-6576. Call that number. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. A man tonight stands accused of holding a woman against her will, as well as physically and sexually assaulting her at a Fargo hotel. 22-year-old Donnie Lee Jr. of Minot faces several charges, including gross sexual imposition, felonious restraint, and terrorizing. Police were called to the Baymont Inn and Suites early Saturday morning. When officers arrived, the victim exited the hotel room quickly without her shoes or socks, and she had significant bruising on her wrists, arms, chest, neck, and around her face. Lee was combative and uncooperative and later tried fleeing. The woman told officers she's a victim of repeated violence at the hands of Lee. A teenage girl is home tonight to continue recovery from injuries in last night's school bus train collision. The 16-year-old's father told us that she was released from a Fargo hospital where she was airlifted after the crash near Lidgerwood. She suffered a broken collarbone, 2 broken vertebrae, a cut on her temple that required 30 stitches, and a concussion. 4 other students were injured in that crash. In all, 19 people were on board. The 61-year-old woman who died in a crash in Beltrami County has now been identified. Francine Harum from Bemidji was killed after her car was hit by a coach bus. Investigators say the driver of the bus, 48-year-old Jeffrey Seeley from Thief River Falls, ran a red light. That crash happened on Friday around noon. No word on whether charges have been filed. It's common in rural areas for first responders to know the people that they're trying to save. Troy Becker and Rodney Roars of the volunteer Millerville Fire Department were sent out Saturday to try and save their own. The farm in Douglas County belongs to Kurt Bozel, the Millerville Assistant Fire Chief. He and his 12-year-old son, Alex, passed out atop a silo holding high-moisture corn. The fermenting process creates a gas commonly known as silo gas that had escaped.
And when you're driving out there, you're just hoping and praying that this is a false alarm or something that would be easily remedied. But I was first on the scene, and when I saw the situation, my heart sank.
Stephen died at the scene, and Kurt died yesterday at the hospital. The condition of Kurt's son, Alex, is not being released. Cass County investigators are looking into an alleged assault yesterday afternoon over a snowmobiling trail in Horace. A homeowner along the trail had piled up snow to block riders from driving through his property. Yesterday, the snowmobiler claims that the homeowner became confrontational, saying he grabbed the rider's arm, slammed his hand, destroyed his phone, and headbutted another rider that same day. Authorities say no one's been charged, but they have sent reports to the state's attorney's office with recommendations of simple assault, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct charges. With the hustle and bustle of the holidays in full swing, if you find yourself in need of mental health assistance, here's a toll-free number. It's 1-800-422-0045. You can also text MN to 741-741 to get assistance through text messaging. These numbers are not to law enforcement, and they're mental health assistance numbers. If you need immediate law enforcement assistance, you're advised to call 911. Looking for some wild fun this holiday? Well, how about the Red River Zoo? It's open for families. Zoocation days were started to give families a fun, educational outing if mom and dad couldn't be home during the day while school is out for the season.
I also liked how it picked up the seed and ate it. It made me feel like it was human.
As a parent of young children, I always struggled when school was out. If I couldn't be home with them, I wanted them to have something kind of really cool that they could do. And this idea came to me, and it was a really great, I think, resource for parents.
Each day has a different theme all around nature and animals. There are arts and crafts, and staff, they bring out a few exhibit animals that children can interact with and learn about, including a cockatoo named Callie. For more information on the events, visit valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Later on Valley News Live at 6, if you have air travel plans soon, we have some helpful tips regarding the TSA.
And we're watching our Christmas holiday very carefully, and our European model does show a system moving up late Wednesday evening, bringing some wintry precipitation to our area into Thursday as well. Of course, we'll break down what we can expect from this and how the rest of that holiday forecast looks next.